millions of Americans who rely on Social Security, Supplemental Security Income, and Social Security disability insurance are about to see something many have been hoping for: a meaningful increase in their monthly checks. This is not just a vague promise or a rumor spreading online. This is based on official federal updates tied to cost of living adjustments, inflation tracking, and benefit recalculations already scheduled for this year. For too long, seniors, disabled individuals, and vulnerable households have watched their expenses rise while their benefits barely kept up. Now, for the first time in several years, the federal government is delivering a boost that has the potential to make a real difference in the daily lives of millions of people across the country. The Social Security Administration confirmed that monthly benefits for SSI and SSDI recipients are being adjusted upward, beginning with payments scheduled after the 1st of January 2026. This boost is the result of the automatic cost of living adjustment, known as COLA, which is calculated each fall based on inflation data provided by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. For 2026, the increase has been set at 3.2%, which means the average recipient of Social Security will see their monthly check rise by about $50. For someone receiving Supplemental Security Income, the maximum monthly federal payment will climb from $943 to $973 for an individual, and from $1,415 to $1,460 for a couple. For SSDI beneficiaries, the increase will depend on their prior work history, but the average monthly disability benefit will rise from $1,537 to about $1,587. These numbers might look modest when compared to the soaring costs of rent, groceries, utilities, and prescription drugs, but for many Americans living on a fixed income, every additional dollar matters. Imagine a senior living alone in a small apartment who spends almost all of their Social Security check on rent, leaving very little for food and medicine. An extra $30 or $40 each month can mean a week's worth of fresh groceries or the ability to fill a prescription without skipping doses. For a disabled worker who has been unable to return to full-time employment, that extra boost might mean being able to keep the lights on without falling behind on utility bills. For couples, relying on SSI's $45 increase can cover co-payments for doctor's visits or help manage unexpected expenses that otherwise would have been impossible to pay. This increase is more than just numbers on a government notice. It reflects the recognition that inflation has hit older and disabled Americans harder than almost any other group. Housing costs have risen dramatically, Medicare premiums continue to climb, and basic necessities are more expensive than ever. The 3.2% adjustment ensures that federal benefits keep some pace with these realities, even if they do not fully erase the gap. Advocates for seniors and disabled individuals argue that more must be done, but for now, this official adjustment represents an important lifeline at a time when many households feel stretched to the breaking point. Payment schedules remain the same, meaning SSI beneficiaries will continue to receive their checks on the 1st of each month, except when that date falls on a weekend or federal holiday. SSDI and retirement beneficiaries will receive their payments on the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th Wednesday of the month, depending on their date of birth. For example, if your birthday falls between the 1st and 10th, your check will arrive on the 2nd Wednesday. Those with birthdays between the 11th and 20th receive payments on the 3rd Wednesday, and anyone with birthdays after the 21st gets their check on the 4th Wednesday. This staggered schedule allows the Social Security Administration to process payments more efficiently, ensuring that funds are delivered accurately and on time. The extra money will automatically appear in beneficiaries' accounts or on their Direct Express debit cards. No one needs to reapply, file additional paperwork, or worry about delays. The boost is guaranteed for everyone who qualifies under SSI or SSDI, as well as retirees collecting standard Social Security benefits. For many, seeing the deposit notification come through their bank app in early January will be a welcome relief after months of financial uncertainty. Some will use the additional funds for practical needs, while others may set aside even a small portion to prepare for future expenses, proving that even modest increases can empower individuals to plan ahead. These updates matter because they tell a larger story about how the federal government continues to balance the financial security of its most vulnerable citizens with broader economic realities. Critics often argue that Social Security is under strain and cannot keep up with rising costs. But year after year, the program proves to be one of the most stable and reliable sources of income for older Americans and those living with disabilities. The trust fund remains under close watch, and while long-term solvency debates continue in Washington, beneficiaries today can take comfort in knowing that their January checks will indeed be larger than December's. It is worth remembering that cost of living adjustments have not always been guaranteed. In some years of low inflation, Social Security recipients saw no increase at all, which left many struggling to cope with rising living expenses without any additional help. The fact that the COLA is tied to actual inflation numbers ensures that beneficiaries will not be left behind when prices climb, even though the formula has been criticized for not fully capturing the higher costs seniors face in healthcare and housing. Still, this year's adjustment is a step in the right direction and an acknowledgement that the nation must protect its most vulnerable citizens. When we talk about these changes, we are not just discussing statistics or government reports. We are talking about real people in real communities. Think of the retired grandmother in Ohio who now has a little more to spend on fresh fruit for her grandchildren. Think of the disabled veteran in Texas who can now afford a few more gallons of gas to drive to medical appointments. Think of the married couple in Florida living on SSI who no longer have to choose between paying their electricity bill and buying medication. These are the faces behind the numbers, and these are the reasons why the increase matters so much. At the same time, financial experts remind beneficiaries to be cautious and deliberate with how they use their new funds. An increase of $30 to $50 may not seem like much, but over the course of a year, it can add up to hundreds of dollars. For someone receiving SSI, the annual increase could mean more than $360 in total. For someone on SSDI, it might be closer to $600 a year. That can cover multiple utility bills, several medical copayments, or even a modest emergency savings fund. Planning ahead and making wise financial choices ensures that the benefits of this adjustment last longer and create greater stability. This moment also serves as a reminder that staying informed is crucial. Too often, misinformation spreads online about supposed bonus checks, secret programs, or one-time payments that never actually exist. The truth is that legitimate increases come from the Social Security Administration itself, and they are always based on verified data and official schedules. Beneficiaries should rely on trusted sources, official letters, and government websites to know exactly what to expect and avoid falling victim to scams or misleading rumors. For now, Americans receiving SSI and SSD, I can take comfort in knowing that when the new year begins, their monthly benefits will be larger, offering a little more breathing room in a time of rising expenses. It is a reminder that even in challenging times, the system continues to function, to deliver, and to adapt. The federal commitment to protecting seniors and disabled individuals remains strong, and while many still struggle, this increase represents hope, stability, and progress. If you find this information useful and want to stay updated on every Social Security change that could affect your household, remember to support this channel by liking the video and subscribing. Together, we can make sure the facts are clear, the updates are timely, and no one misses out on the benefits they deserve. Beyond the immediate relief, this increase in SSI and SSD benefits underscores a broader truth about how vital Social Security programs are to the foundation of American life. For many seniors and people with disabilities, these checks are not supplemental income, but the very cornerstone of survival. Unlike investments or private pensions that can fluctuate with market conditions, These federal payments arrive each month without fail, providing a sense of certainty in uncertain times. When beneficiaries see even a modest increase, it sends a clear message that their struggles are not invisible and that the nation values the years they worked, the challenges they endured, and the dignity they deserve in retirement or disability. It is also important to recognize the ripple effects of these payments within local communities. Every dollar from Social Security is typically spent quickly on essentials, and that spending supports small businesses, pharmacies, grocery stores, and landlords. A boost in checks does not only help individuals, it strengthens neighborhoods. When millions of Americans across the country have a little more to spend, it fuels local economies, supports jobs, and creates a cycle of stability that benefits everyone. The elderly woman buying her groceries with her increased SSI check is, in fact, keeping her local market open, and the disabled worker paying their rent with their SSDI boost is helping their landlord stay financially secure.